What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling. We got the Asian sensation back in the motherfucking building. What's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? I missed y'all. Ben, the other third of the podcast. What's going on, y'all? It's been a bit. Just letting you guys know, life moving sucks. Anyways, we have a very, very special edition of the podcast today, and it's actually going to be really, really fun, and it is Mania week, y'all. But before we get into those shenanigans, Don, hit him with the business.
That's right. We are going to be giving our full predictions for WrestleMania 39. So if this is a long video, we do not apologize whatsoever, because that is our disclaimer in the beginning of this video, because we're really going to be diving into all the matches, giving our thoughts, giving our predictions on what we think is going to happen, and really break it down from the storylines leading to the Mania to how we feel about the matches. But if you're not a Wrestling Maniac yet,
before you get in, do I have the permission?
Permission?
Do I have permission since we're going to Hollywood? Can I drop a little LA Night real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you.
If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know the grind is real.
Mania week.
We got a lot of predictions we got to do, so I say we get right into it. What do you guys say?
I gotta say, man, like, out of all the content that we've made over the last couple of weeks, this is like the one episode of the podcast that I'm actually looking forward to, because I mean, it's Mania, bro.
And it's a big fucking Mania, dude. It's the first one helmed by Triple H. Majoritively, like exclusively, kind of. But yeah, dude, it's a big one.
And that's the thing, like, with this WrestleMania being so big, I know on our recent episodes of the We Are Wrestling podcast, which you can check every Saturday on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, we've been talking about a lot of these matches and the storylines and how we felt. But now we're so close to WrestleMania that we might have different opinions about how we felt a couple weeks prior. And with this predictions, it's going to get very interesting to see how we feel about certain things. And I can't wait to dive into all of this.
Let's go, gentlemen.
I can't either, bro. Like, I don't even know where to start. I mean, we should probably start with match number 1 that got announced. Austin Theory and John Cena, you know.
And that's my job, Danny. So, the first match for WrestleMania 39 Night 1, it's been confirmed for United States Championship. Austin Theory defending the title against John Cena, my childhood hero. How do you guys feel about this match at WrestleMania this year?
I feel like, now might be a little bit of a hot take, but I do feel like out of every single match on the card, this is the one that makes the most sense to me. Because, you know, for the past year, you know, Austin Theory winning the briefcase, winning the multiple-time United States champion, you know, when he was Vince McMahon's right-hand man, you know, everybody was saying that he was, you know, the second coming of John Cena. He's just generations John Cena. So the fact that he's actually getting to face John Cena for the United States Championship, which I believe is the first title that John Cena won in WWE, I mean, it makes fucking sense.
Absolutely. How do you feel, Ben?
You know, honestly, it's kind of refreshing coming in here and actually, like, genuinely agreeing. You know, it is definitely a match that makes sense. It's been built and it's been spoken about through WWE Universe, you know, for, you know, an extended amount of time now. And honestly, I wasn't sure how it was going to work now because, you know, like Dan said, he'd won the briefcase not too long ago, eventually stripped him of it, and he had no idea where he was going. But honestly, they really crafted this dude and really saved his career, because when Vince bounced, I didn't know what was going to be in store for him. So honestly, this is finally coming full circle. If he's this, you know, John Cena's second coming, which honestly at this point in the game, I could buy immediately. Like, I'm invested in this because day one, dude, like ever since he got on my radar, he has stayed on my radar. And you can even pull up the receipts for that. I've always been interested in Austin Theory, 100%. So this match is one of the matches that I'm looking the most forward to because it has been spoken into existence for so long and we finally got it, you know? I'm just hoping on everything that it lives up to what we've expected and what it's been, the hype that has been built around it, I hope John delivers a stellar performance. I hope that Theory really carries and he has a lot of strong points. And I really, really hope that, this match at the end of the day, no matter what happens, that this projects him in the right direction towards a main event headline eventually. He's getting crafted and bred for something so much more, and I'm excited for him. So honestly, man, you got my thoughts on it.
And that's the thing that I do want to say about the receipts. I can back Ben up on that because Ben and I were like probably the 10% in the TD Garden that wanted Austin Theory to win that match. And when he won, we were on our feet while that one fan
R.I.P. him.
He was depressed. I think he left after that.
But he was definitely
my thoughts
quiet
on the whole Austin Theory John Cena match. I'm very excited for this. I think, the storyline, they could have definitely done a little bit better, but obviously John Cena's in Hollywood, so you have to, consider that. So there's not much you can really do, but I gotta say, the match speaks for itself, and that's why I think a lot of us are very excited for it, because everybody's compared Austin Theory's career to an early John Cena. And I'm talking about before John Cena, went on to being the face of WWE when he beat JBL at WrestleMania 21. And I think Austin Theory really has everything in the bag to, become one of the top guys in the business for the next 5 to 10 years. I think he's going to be a future WWE champion, hands down. He's got the look. He's got the entrance. I love what they did the last couple weeks with the intro of his theme song. He looks more like a star. Instead of looking like $100,000, he's looking like $1 million.
The beard really does stuff for you, man. And a new haircut.
And that's the thing. I think this match is definitely going to be a banger. This might be one of John Cena's best matches via part-time, I think.
The best, I will say,
absolutely.
The best thing that ever happened to Austin Theory was getting rid of the cell phone and losing the briefcase the way he did. That was the best thing that could have happened to him because
absolutely
he's more of a star now than he was, previously. So
he's grittier now. He's rough around the edges, and I'm digging it, man. I'm digging that he's demanding that same respect that John Cena preaches, and I'm fucking stoked for it because it all works out.
I will say now, I don't know if you guys consider this a hot take or not. I do wish that
Hot Takes is my show, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, you haven't really been doing it that
Shots
much.
fired.
Damn, you're right about that.
I wish Austin Theory didn't have the United States title because I do feel like with the title being on the line, even though it makes sense, it makes the match even more predictable. We know John Cena's not going to win because he's not going to be at Raw. He's going off doing his movie stuff or whatever. But if the title wasn't on the line, there would have been that slight chance that Theory loses to Cena and maybe they continue this at SummerSlam or something like that. But with the US title on the line, it makes it a little bit more predictable than I wish it was.
I don't know about that because they always can swerve us, and John Cena could potentially beat Theory and on Raw lose the title to Theory in a rematch, maybe because Theory gets a rematch clause.
Then it will diminish the entire title shot. The entire.
I'm just saying it's not fully predictable. I really don't think John Cena is going to beat Theory, but I'm just saying it's not 100% that Theory is going to win it.
Yeah. I just wish the title wasn't on the line. Without a title, it's a little bit less predictable. That's just my opinion.
I understand where you're coming from.
So who do we got winning this match? John Cena or Austin Theory?
I got to go with Theory. He's an up-and-comer. John Cena had his time, multiple-time world champion, main evented WrestleMania's at the ass. He's
we're living in a world where we don't need John Cena anymore.
He's pretty much done everything, and he's at this stage in his career to where he's able to put over young guys. And I do feel like, because I have heard that John Cena, has nothing but good things to say about Theory. So the fact that he's able to, put Theory over and send him off to the next stratosphere, I mean, I feel like it's gonna do wonders for Austin Theory's career going forward.
Yeah, honestly, amen.
Who do you got, Ben?
Theory.
And that's who I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with Theory as well. I think that, his United States title run, this is just the beginning. He's really making the championship prestigious, and he's really got all the tools in the bag to be a top guy in WWE. And I think, John Cena putting him over is really going to take him to the next level, like Danny said. Moving on now to our next match on WrestleMania. And by the way, we want to let you guys know this is not the card exactly how it's going to go. Some matches might be night 2, night 1. We just mixed it up. We scrambled it and just said, fuck it. So, match 2 is a 6-woman tag match. We have Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita versus Damage Control.
Ooh.
Who do you want to go first, man? I have some things to say about this.
Should we leave the pipe bomb for the last, Don, or should we just?
I say we leave the pipe bomb for the last.
It's not necessarily a pipe
Well,
bomb. What I have
should
to say,
we leave? Should we leave the toxicity in for the last one?
Yeah, well,
as the main attraction.
Fangirl go
All right,
last.
I'll be the
Okay.
main event, bitch.
Got you. Honestly, it's just going to be a feel-good match for me. Like, it's not necessarily filler. It's definitely story-driven, obviously, like as we've seen. But it's going to be a feel-good match because it's going to be good to see two legends, one out of retirement currently holding a title, which is fucking awesome, by the way. I've wanted this for so long. Kind of fucking badass. But we got Trish Stratus in the mix too, man. Like, we're gonna be seeing, a lot of cool shit again, and we're gonna be that's gonna be a feel good nostalgia kind of night. Damage Control, again, I do enjoy their stable. I do enjoy everybody's work that's in it. I'm not sure trio wise how much longer that they're gonna be around. I just feel like they're kind of watering down a little bit. They're starting to come off steam. They already had their time as tag champions. Bayley's kind of in a standstill right now, which is kind of peculiar. So I feel like we need to get her back on track to like some singles competition again. Maybe some actual some headlining matches. Like I'd love to see Bayley actually kind of go back out on her own again because she hasn't been since coming back from injury. So honestly, again, feel good match. I think we're going to be just seeing a really, really good women's sports entertainment. We're going to be seeing a good match, and I'm just excited to see these legends back in action entirely. So, do I say now who I believe is going to win, or should I wait till after?
We wait until after.
Got you.
So,
All right,
my
man.
thoughts on the 6-woman tag match. I got to agree with you, Ben. This is going to be a feel-good match. Seeing Trish Stratus, seeing Lita, perform at WrestleMania, that's going to be pretty cool to see as a Ruthless Aggression fan like yourself.
Absolutely. Yep.
In the Attitude Era.
In the Attitude Era, of course. But when it comes down to it, I think that this is going to be a feel-good match. Damage Control, I have been, a fan of the faction, when they debuted at SummerSlam, but I would be lying to you if I said it hasn't been lackluster. It hasn't really been that good. And the booking decisions, I think, have a lot to do with that. But also seeing somebody like Dakota Kai get an opportunity on the biggest stage of WrestleMania, she absolutely deserves it. I know she, has dealt with lots of injuries, during her time in NXT, and a lot of people, told her that she was never going to be able to wrestle at WrestleMania, and now she gets an opportunity to not only wrestle at Mania, but also go against, 3 legends, which is absolutely amazing to see. And honestly, it's going to be a feel-good, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to this more than another women's match that I know we're going to be getting into later in the
I think that's going to be the quickest segment.
Probably.
That's going to be the quickest segment because I don't really think any of us have much to say about it. But sorry, Dan, didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
So I like this match. It's I'm a huge advocate, and I speak very highly on like the Attitude Era and stuff like that. That's what I grew up on.
Of course, bro.
So Trish Stratus and Lita, they were huge parts of my childhood, and Damage Control, I don't really care for them. I don't feel like they really done much. Like, we have barely a tag team division, yet they were tag team champions, never defending the titles. Bayley, she just seems like she's holding Dakota Kai and Io Sky back a little bit because, they were champions for a long time, and she was just pretty much there barking orders. I want to say something, but I don't necessarily know if I should wait. because I have heard a lot of reports that going into SummerSlam, Trish Stratus is going to be having a really lengthy feud with Becky Lynch, and that Trish Stratus is going to be going in more of a heel direction. I mean, are we going to be getting a turn at Mania, or are we going to get a turn at Backlash? I just know that WWE has plans for Trish Stratus to turn heel, go into SummerSlam, and have a feud with Becky Lynch. So, I mean, take that with what you want.
I'm kind of
I don't
stoked for
know.
that now, given that information.
Me too.
I'm
I'm
so
looking
stoked
forward
for
to
it.
it. I'm looking forward to it.
Gimme.
And that's the thing, like, about this, 6-woman tag
Thanks,
match.
Dan.
There's definitely a lot of, scenarios here. We have the Trish, potentially turning heel, starting that feud. We also have, Damage Control potentially breaking up because of, how many L's they've taken.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see what happens in this match. But now, who do we got winning this?
I gotta go. I gotta go with Damage Control. Just knowing that Trish Stratus could potentially turn heel. We don't know if it's gonna happen at Mania, and I have Trish Stratus turn on Lita and Becky Lynch. Um, and like it makes sense knowing how close Lita and Trish Stratus are. Like they are inseparable. You know what I mean? They have been for years. So the idea and the jealousy of Lita winning the tag team titles with Becky Lynch and not Trish Stratus, knowing Trish Stratus never had that opportunity with somebody as close as Lita to her. It's just the jealousy is gonna form. You know what I mean?
You're onto something because now I have something to add to that. All right, there's a couple avenues we could take. I could see Trish turning heel at Mania. Because what if, because this is Avenue 1. Avenue 1 is Trish Stratus turns heel, has been in cahoots with Damage Control the entire fucking time, and they all fucking literally injure Lita, so eventually Becky's going to drop it. Maybe back to Damage Control. That's going to start the whole feud between Trish and Becky. Here's Avenue 2. Lita also turns on Becky. That's Avenue 2. I don't know how it would resolve anything tag team title wise. There could be some interesting angle there, but that's Avenue 2. Avenue 1 seems a little bit more realistic, but Avenue 2 I could also see happening. But in terms of who I think is going to win, Dan, I have to go with you because you're on to something. So yeah, I'm going to go with Damage Control.
I have to, Donnie, before you get into it, I have to say that I don't see Lita turning for the simple fact that why would she turn if the tag team titles are not on the line in this match, and her and Becky would still be a tag team?
Because
with
Trish
the
and
tag
Lita
team
have
titles.
history.
Yeah, but how would she turn on Becky Lynch if they're still tag team champions? They would have to figure out a way to drop
No,
the
for
titles.
sure. And that's what I'm saying. Avenue 2 doesn't make a lot more sense, but I could see it happening if done right. If like there's some kind of magical intertwine, but
A couple weeks ago, man, we saw Damage Control and Lita and Becky Lynch and Lita were nowhere to be found, and Damage Control beat the hell out of Trish Stratus in the backstage area. So I mean,
yeah,
they
okay.
they could be in cahoots, bro. I mean, or she could be a little. The jealousy could be there even more,
Especially
knowing
since
that
she wasn't there.
Lita and Becky Lynch were not there to help when Damage Control was teaming up against her. So I mean, it's a lot of
I see
avenues.
Avenue 1 happening. But yeah, all right, Don, you go, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag it out.
Typical WWE booking. Here's how they're going to break up.
Fuck you. Come on.
Typical WWE booking. I'm sorry to, take the magic away from you guys, but what's going to happen some way, like maybe one of them's going to hold one member from Damage Control, and then Becky's going to go hit hit Bailey. Bailey ducks, and Becky hits Trish. So that's when Trish decides to turn heel on them, and then going into Raw, they're going to, try to have like a segment where Trish is going to explain why she did what she did. But honestly, I would love Avenue 1, what you did say, Ben. But with this match, I got to go Damage Control because they need to have a win. And I like the pair together. They have great chemistry. And I think a win like this at WrestleMania could definitely, get onto something and get Bailey out of that, slump. and, also get Dakota and Io back into the tag team title picture, and they can actually do something right. Because one thing that a lot of fans haven't liked during this Damage Control run since SummerSlam is the lack of wins. What better way than WrestleMania to get a win?
WWE needs to get a control of their women's tag team division because it just seems like it's
their
non-existent.
We need
women's
more
division in
legitimate
general.
tag teams in the women's division. I absolutely 100% agree with you, Danny, on that one. So we all got Damage Control.
Yep.
Yes, Damage Control, man, picking up the victory, and Trish Stratus is gonna turn heel. So
Unpopular opinion, I bet, because everybody's probably got Becky, Trish, and Lita, but who gives a shit? Our prediction.
Because
know.
fuck realism, right?
We don't know. We don't know if it's the heel turn is gonna happen at Mania or at Backlash. But
I think it might be.
turning.
I
She is
think
gonna be turning heel.
Yeah, I do have to agree with your timeline there, absolutely. But I could see either or happening. But at least if something happens at Mania, there's at least seeds planted for it if they were to go for more Backlash. So
exactly
understandable.
I think the best part is Becky versus Trish. That's gonna be a great match right
I'm
there.
stoked for it, man.
And
I
it's
can't
gonna
wait
be in
to see what
Ford Field,
happens.
bro. They haven't had SummerSlam in Detroit since 1993.
Fuck. Damn.
Damn. All right, moving on now to our next match on our predictions. We have Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul.
With that punch, bro.
Yeah.
One hit wonder, man.
Oh,
All right, so who wants to go first on their thoughts on this match?
I'll probably keep it short and sweet, where I know Dan will probably have a lot more to say about it than me. I love both of these guys a lot. You guys already know my stance. For everybody that watches the show, you guys know my stance on Logan Paul. Absolutely phenomenal athlete. He's built for this. He made WWE a ton of money. Everybody watches Logan Paul. You could deny it all you want. The dude has pull, and they really did utilize him beautifully. And to put him up against Seth freaking Rollins, one of the best creative decisions you can make, because Seth Rollins could literally not only play with anybody, he could genuinely make anybody look like $1 million, learn from them, teach them a few things. And I feel like with, a personality like Logan Paul, who is known for these crazy fucking antics, and then having Seth one up that shit, give me that banger, dude. It's going to be a money match because Logan is not just a random celebrity. He has proven himself. This dude took on Roman fucking Reigns in Saudi Arabia and killed it and made that shit the match of the night. Like, dude, ridiculous. So I'm very excited for this match. I'm honestly this is another match I'm looking super forward to. So out of the 3 matches we've talked about, I'm stoked for all 3. Like, all 3. That is fucking a monumental start to this WrestleMania prediction in WrestleMania week, man. I am so here for it. But yeah, you guys know my thoughts. Dan, you go ahead.
So, I'm a huge fan of Seth Rollins. I have been since he was the architect. Logan Paul, I used to watch his vlogs every once in a while until obviously we know what happened.
Yeah.
The idea of him coming in to WWE and taking the WWE universe by storm like he has. We've seen his match at SummerSlam with The Miz. We've seen him take on Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia. Now we're seeing him take on Seth Rollins. Like, it just, he is built for this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He has so much charisma built up in him. You know what I mean? And him and Seth Rollins, I feel like it's gonna be even better than I feel like Logan Paul and Roman Reigns was, because they're both so charismatic. They're both so athletic. And I gotta say, Roman Reigns is up here, Logan Paul is still down here. But I feel like Logan Paul is not far off from Seth Rollins, if you know what I mean.
I think that they are definitely going to have better chemistry in the ring when they go against each other.
Oh yeah, they're gonna burn the fucking house down.
So, my thoughts about Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. This storyline has been fantastic from start to finish. The Royal Rumble is where it began, where Logan Paul eliminated Seth Rollins. Elimination Chamber. Seth Rollins is about to win the U.S. title. Logan Paul gets in there and attacks him. I predicted that. And Logan Paul, turning heel in WWE, I love it because when he was a babyface on the microphone, it was a little cringy, and there was just something missing to his WWE character. But now being a heel, it's like the old Logan Paul in the vlogs, and he's really, getting the groove of things as a heel. he's just natural at it, pissing people off. And like when Seth Rollins is coming out, like, oh, you guys suck at singing to the crowd and doing little things like that. That's the things I like with Logan Paul, being a heel in WWE. I think that these two are going to definitely burn the house down during Mania, and we're definitely going to get a viral clip. And I can't wait to see what they have under their sleeve.
Exactly. And Logan Paul, like, he's always been a natural heel. People hate you whenever you're succeeding at something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude.
People
Hardly anybody claps for you.
people love to hate Jake and Logan Paul. It's just, it's just what it is. Way back, even before he came into WWE, people would just love to hate this guy.
Even
So the
online.
idea of him being a heel in WWE, I feel
Gets
like
to be
it's
his authentic self, bro.
it's more natural, because he's being a smug, cocky self, like, fuck you guys, man. I'm better than you guys, man. I got one of the number one drinks in the fucking world. I got, millions of people that fucking worship everything I do and
He
everything I
flashed
say.
the prime.
I'm
But
flashing
that's the
prime,
part.
bro.
Logan Paul knows how to play this character better, and he's having more fun doing it, getting
It's
under
more
people's
authentic.
skins.
Exactly, man.
So, who do we got winning this match?
Fuck you. I didn't want you to ask me that because I don't know. Because I genuinely don't know. How dare you ask me the hard questions like this, bitch?
I'm the host with the most. I gotta
go. I'll go first. I gotta go with Seth Rollins. Logan Paul's won his last. He won at WrestleMania last year. He beat The Miz at SummerSlam. He almost beat Roman Reigns at Saudi Arabia. I gotta go with Seth Rollins. I do feel like Seth Rollins is gonna make Logan look like $1 million though. But that's just the kind of talent that Seth is.
Mhm.
I feel like they're gonna both complement each other really well. But I got to go with Seth Rollins, man. He's sort of been on somewhat of a downward spiral over the last year. He lost several matches to Cody. Has really been staying stagnant. Has really been doing much or accomplishing much. Won the U.S. title and then automatically lost it again. I got to go with Seth Rollins, man. I do feel like he needs a big win.
All right. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think Logan's definitely going to put on a hell of a performance, like he has in the past. And there's no denying, again, his incredible fucking athletic ability and what he can do in the ring. Again, just like we were talking about, he's built for this. I have to go with Seth for sure because, he's been taking L's for a very long time, putting other people over. I think it's time that Seth, shut baby boy up per se. So I think it's going to be a 5-star. Absolutely, because these guys are so on the same level. And like I said, Seth can mold with anybody and make them look like $1 million, but still have his credibility. And that's something I'm really excited to see between both of them and how good their chemistry really is in the ring, because each of them could do what the other is doing. Like both of them can pull off each other's moveset. So it's almost an even playing field, and it's an equalizer. So that makes the match more compelling, a lot more exciting to watch, because both of these guys can do crazy fucking shit in the ring, and we've both seen it. We've all seen it, all three of us. And I'm excited for that. And it's on the biggest stage of them all when it comes to this fucking business. So to burn the whole house down, yes, we are going to get a 5-star classic from both of these individuals. They are going to put all of it on the table. They're going to fucking sweep the whole fucking crowd by storm. And they're all going to be eating out of the palms of their hands, because this has been amazing storytelling. The angles have been fucking great. Logan's a first-class fucking just on board, and he has a genuine love for this business, and I'm just excited for it. And yeah, I'm going to give Seth the dub. He needs it. This is going to, restart his career, so to speak. Like, we're going to, cut the losing streak, and we're going to, be prosperous Seth Rollins again. So yeah, I'm going to go with Seth.
So, here's who I have winning this match. I'm going to differ. I'm going to go with Logan Paul on this one for
Boon
one
whore.
reason. There's only one reason.
What's up?
Logan's going to cheat to win.
Ow.
And I think that this rivalry between Seth Rollins and Logan Paul will not be over until Backlash. And I think that's where Seth Rollins will pick up his victory, because Logan Paul lives in Puerto Rico, where Backlash is being taken place. So I think this storyline will not end until Backlash, and I think Logan Paul will get the victory on his birthday.
But just because,
God
just
damn.
because, just
Wow.
because,
Mic drop
The feud's
moment.
going to
Sorry.
continue doesn't necessarily mean that Logan has to win this match, though.
I think he cheats to win. That gives Seth Rollins more of a reason to, get, his revenge on Logan Paul.
Smack the
And they
shit
add
out
a
of him.
stipulation to the match at Backlash to where Logan Paul can't run, can't hide, maybe a steel cage match.
Ooh, imagine
Ooh.
Logan Paul in a fucking steel cage, bro.
Oh.
This is their first show in Puerto Rico since 2005 or whatever. So they're gonna want to do some big shit. They're gonna want
And
to
I
build
think
the
Logan
card.
Paul will be a part of it because he lives in Puerto Rico.
Huh.
So I think the rivalry will not end. And I think Seth Rollins will be the one on top at the end of this rivalry. If Rollins does beat Logan Paul at WrestleMania, I don't see a Backlash match happening. But I think at WrestleMania, if Logan Paul wins, I will not be surprised to see these two at Backlash.
Y'all just blew my mind.
All right, moving on now to our next match. The one match I think Danny and I are definitely not looking forward to, and I don't know how you feel about it, Ben. Brock Lesnar versus the Great Omos.
Skip. Brock's gonna win. Skip.
I'm gonna take a healthy dump during this match just so I make sure
I'm
not done till it's over.
I know we're trying to keep it professional, but I genuinely do not want to talk about this. Like, I'm gonna be dead serious with you. Like, I'd rather like give you my blunt, honest opinion and just move on from my perspective.
All right, so you got Brock Lesnar?
I got Brock Lesnar. I think that Vince is kind of like, well, not kind of, we all fucking know. He's definitely shoving Omos down our fucking throats and into our faces, and I'm fucking sick of it, just like everybody else. But if Omos can perform in this match and genuinely does some crazy shit and capitalizes on it, you might be able to sway me. I might be a little interested. But I don't see that happening, and it's a Vince McMahon produced match. He's having creative pull somewhere, and especially on WrestleMania. So I'm not fucking into this at all. But I'm gonna go with Brock because Brock could sweep the floor with literally anybody in the locker room, realistically. So I'm gonna go with Brock.
What about you, Danny?
The only reason this match was put together is because it's almost like a Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant thing. They wanted, it's
It's good shit.
Good shit, according to Vince McMahon. It's all about the spectacle of can Brock Lesnar do an F5 to, a 7'5", 450-pound giant. That's what this match is based on.
Yep.
I mean, if we saw a couple of weeks ago on Raw, we're taking it back a little bit. That's what we do on this channel. We dissect everything. If you don't like it, well, I don't know what to tell you. When they had that confrontation, I think it was the VIP lounge, and Omos botched clotheslining Brock Lesnar over the top rope. That moment right there, I was like, bro, this shit's fucking garbage, man.
Like, you couldn't even sell a fucking clothesline over a top rope. Like that at that point, you should not be on a WrestleMania card at all. It blows my mind that Brock Lesnar did not want to work with Bray Wyatt and yet wanted to work with fucking.
I thought we were keeping this one short and sweet.
I'm sorry. It just like when you're fueled with negativity about a situation, you could just go on and on about how you hate it. So I'm sorry.
Is that why Danny goes on and on about stuff, you think?
He hates everything.
I feel like I have a lot to say about certain situations, so I let it the fuck out, man.
Yeah, I respect that. This is therapy for us.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, bro.
So I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet because everybody knows how I feel about Omos. Worst wrestler, in my opinion. I think Brock Lesnar is going to beat him. I think the only good thing about this match that I can say, I think when Brock Lesnar actually lifts Omos up for that F5, it's going to get a huge pop with that crowd. Because one thing that you can't deny, as much as I fucking hate Omos, greener than the fucking Green Giant, on my PWI top 50 worst wrestlers of all time, he's probably up there, easily in my top 3. The thing is, when it's all said and done with Omos, people tend to like it for some reason. Like, you go on WWE's YouTube page, Omos and Brock Lesnar segments are at like 10 million views. More than like all the freaking other shit combined.
Yeah. But what trips
it's
me
an
out a
old
little
school
bit
booking match for WrestleMania. I think the reason why Vince wanted to do this was to really, give that nostalgia WrestleMania feel, like a Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy or Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior. Except this time it's Brock Lesnar versus fucking Omos.
But what trips me out is Didn't Brock Lesnar give an F5 to Big Show? And isn't Big Show bigger and heavier than fucking Omos? So I mean, we've seen this happen before, bro.
You were supposed to see that. Vince probably about to text you right now, be like, "Yo, take that shit back."
I don't know about that, man.
Well, I
because
know
Big Show. Big
I know
Show
Big
was
Show's heavier.
yeah, but Omos got more muscle on him and about the same weight as Big Show.
I don't know. I just
think the only thing that people
we've
are going to
seen
be
this
excited
before,
about is
man.
that F5, and that's it.
We've
This
seen
match
this
is going to be
before,
dog
man.
shit. Brock Lesnar is going to fucking sweep the floor with them.
Watch us all
Absolutely.
collectively leave the
The Duke-
stream during this match.
The Duke count, bro. I'm getting that's my time to get a refill on a drink and get a
And
slice
food.
of pizza.
Yeah, get some food.
That's
Fuck
the
that.
perfect time to get pizza.
Yeah, during the
Look at
Omos
that. We're
match.
already planning our freaking WrestleMania watch along, which, by the way, to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs, live Saturday and Sunday for WrestleMania. We're going to be doing a watch along. If you thought the Royal Rumble one was massive, wait until this WrestleMania one because it's going to be bigger than the Rumble.
Hell
2
yeah.
nights, and it's going to be awesome. And we really hope you guys are there watching Mania with us.
Hell
It's gonna
yeah,
be
man. It's
huge,
gonna be
bro.
lit.
All right, moving on now to our next match. We have a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Showdown match. We
Hell
have
yeah.
Ricochet and Braun Strowman versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders.
Is
How
this
do
like
we
a
feel about
qualifying
this
match for tag
match?
team
What
championships?
the fuck is that arrow pointing up to fucking Ivar's head?
It's a Viking rune, bro. Anyways,
He's trying to be the
is
last
this-
airbender.
Is this like an actual qualifying match for like a championship, or is this just like a tag team fucking match?
It's a showcase. I don't know.
I
Possibly.
think it is for like a potential shot at the tag
Oh,
titles. I think they're
okay.
doing this for the women.
Can you pull up
too.
who's in it again?
Braun Strowman, Ricochet, the Street Profits, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders.
Honestly, yeah. All right, cool. I already know who I want to win, and I can actually explain why too.
But I
I
want to
just-
know your thoughts on the match before we get
No, of
into
course.
the winners.
Of course, they all have substance. So let's dissect the teams real quick. So you got Braun Strowman and Ricochet, which is basically a big me, little me kind of tag team, and that's basically what they've been portraying it as, which is honestly great use of creativity because you got Braun Strowman, who is this monster among men, who is like basically the body of this entire fucking tag team. And then you have Ricochet, who is a high flyer, who's a tiny fucking dude. And together, dude, you could see some crazy combinations in their tag team. Like, dude, like Braun Strowman could throw Ricochet and he could do a 450 splash in the fucking air and just nail like 8 people at the same time. Like, you could see some pretty like carnivalistic shit in those matches. So that's a pretty powerful tag team right there. Then you have the Alpha Academy, which is basically 2 great athletic individuals. You got, again, the body of the group, who is fucking Otis. And then you have Chad Gable, who is, arguably this generation's Kurt Angle, 100%. And I'd buy it. He's a phenomenal mat wrestler, like classically trained, and he's fucking killing it, Oh, and also, by the way, built like a fucking Greek god. Jesus Christ. Like, save some chicks for the rest of us, Chad. But yeah, you have that team, and then you have Street Profits, which again, with Alpha Academy, you have Otis, who's already kind of drifting away, and I know that they're going to split them up eventually because he's going towards, the fucking Maximum Male Models for whatever reason, but I kind of am intrigued with it because it's kind of interesting.
I'm digging it.
So you already know that they're not going to win, because they're going to be planned on being split up soon. Now you have the Street Profits, who have been tag team champions and were long reigning tag team champions for a while before the Usos. So like they are another big team, but at the same time, I'm getting a sense that they're going to be getting split up soon too. So I don't see them as being, a big competitor in this match for, any kind of dub. Now here's where it gets interesting. Viking Raiders. I really think that if booked correctly, they could be a legitimate dominant tag team. 100%. If you look at their work in NXT, phenomenal work. Ivar was able to do and capitalize on all this crazy high-flying shit as a big fucking dude. And then you have Eric, who is just this fucking nasty, just brawler type fucking wrestler. And that's what intrigues the hell out of me, is because not only are they entertaining, they are able to do crazy abilities at the size that they do. Their moveset, like duo-wise, is interesting, intriguing, and very unique, different as hell. And obviously their presentation with obviously my Nordic roots and just love for all around Viking style. And they're really capitalizing on the actual essence of it. Not just like, oh, we're going to put on a loincloth and call ourselves fucking Vikings. No, they really kill and embody the characters that they're trying to play, which, by the way, in today's WWE, character work is fucking lacking. So you can laugh at it all you want, but dude, they are keeping that shit alive. And I feel like out of all of the teams, for me personally, I think they're gonna fucking take it. And honestly, I would rather see them take on fucking Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn over anybody out of all of them. 100, because they're an actual built uniform tag team. And they could be dominant, especially with Valhalla as their fucking third. Like, get the fuck out of here. You could do so much shit there. 100%.
Can I tag myself in, Danny, and let you go last on this one? Because obviously I've stated my, thoughts on the Viking Raiders, and Ben, I got to admit, you gave me a whole different perspective there, and, you're really making me consider things here as, we're doing this predictions video. And
We're
that's
just
why I
having a
love
talk,
doing
buddy.
the We Are Wrestling podcast, because
We're having a
we
talk.
always have our own wrestling opinions, but like really listening to our opinions on stuff, it really makes you, change your perspective on things at times and, really learn a little bit more about the business. And that's why I've always enjoyed doing this with you guys. But, getting back into the match, I want to, kind of, dive into the groups here. We have Ricochet and Braun Strowman. At first, wasn't really a fan of it, but now I'm starting to get behind it because, Braun Strowman, if he's going to be successful in WWE, honestly, a tag team is probably the best thing for him. Same with Ricochet. Moving on now to the next tag team, the Street Profits. I just want Montez already to, move on from Angelo because we all know, just like Jay is better than Jimmy, Montez is better than Angelo.
Yeah, I already know.
Then we have, Alpha Academy. And I really want to see Otis join the Maximum Male Models.
Same.
It will definitely bring some entertainment to the group. And I think somebody like Otis, who, showed that he could be a great comedy character, but also could be a great serious character, can definitely do wonders for the Maximum Male Models. I think the gimmick is there. They're just missing something. Otis could be that missing piece. Moving on now to the last tag team, the Viking Raiders. This is who I want to win this match because what better way to have, a solid first rivalry with Sammy and Kevin than the Viking Raiders, who, had a solid, couple matches on SmackDown against, the Brawlin' Bros, whatever they call themselves, McIntyre and Sheamus.
Brawlin' Brutes?
The Brawlin' Brutes. They've had some solid matches with them. And yes, NXT, I loved the Viking Raiders. But at first, when they were brought in, it felt very, cartoony, very corny. But now I'm starting to get behind it a little bit more. It's being a little bit more serious. And I don't really like, Sarah Logan with them. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain. I do love them as a tag team in the ring. And honestly, out of these four teams, the Viking Raiders, this is the perfect opportunity to, give them a big win.
I would like to tag myself in one more time before you start, Dan. And it's just in reference to the Sarah Logan thing. I will say, like, where I can understand and agree with you, and I can resonate as to why her complete resurgence as this character and her character work right now is fucking phenomenal compared to that Sarah Logan fucking Riot Squad shit that we got. This is a character that you can get behind because, again, it's a supernatural entity. This is the character work. She looks completely different. I'm digging the dreads, the almost bare skin, like methodical, like seer kind of fucking thing. Like, she's what guides them. Like, she is the embodiment of what they're doing. Like, she, like,
Oh, here, can I
it's so
tag
good.
myself in?
Yes.
Here, I'm going to tag myself in. Ugh. All right, so the last thing I'm going to say, I think the reason why I'm not really behind, her new character, I understand why they have her with the Viking Raiders. I think it's because I've enjoyed Sarah Logan's work as an in-ring competitor. I did enjoy what she did with the Riot, the Riot Squad. I understand there's no Riot Squad because, of course, Ruby Soho is in AEW. Liv Morgan's out doing her own
Killing it,
thing.
mind you.
But I don't know. Like for me, I think it's because I've always liked Sarah Logan. That's why maybe I'm not
Of
behind it,
course.
but I understand why. And I think through time, if they keep booking them properly, I'll like it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with like the her and Eric's kid is still really young, so I don't think she wants to like take as many bumps right now. But I think once he gets a little bit older, she'll be back in ring and shit, and that's why she's doing I think shorter like stints, rather than actually being a full-time competitor. But Dan, what do you think, man? I'm sorry.
It's all good, man. So I like I like the pairing between Braun Strowman and Ricochet. I
Mhm.
still think that they made this a tag team because to punish Braun Strowman because of his antics on social media. I've been saying that since October. I do feel like that became a thing. The Street Profits, man, they've really been not doing much. I don't. Everybody's been talking about Montez turning heel, whatever. I can see it. Um, and I like Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford just about the same. I do think obviously Montez has more athletic ability because he's built that way, but I do feel like Angelo Dawkins has been putting in the work to improve. And
Yep.
I mean, he's better than a lot of other people that are on this list that are going to be wrestling at Mania. And we already talked about one a little while ago. The Alpha Academy, man, Chad Gable and Otis. I really like this tag team. It made sense. It would have even made more sense if they would have brought Kurt Angle in as a manager. It just almost like a Team Angle part 2.0 or something like that. Obviously, they didn't do that. Otis with Maximum Male Models. I feel like here's the reason why I don't like it because I feel like they're going backwards. Because this seems like almost like with Maxine Dupree and his infatuation with her reminds me of the same thing that they did with him and Mandy Rose back a couple years ago. So I do feel like we've sort of traveled down that road before. I don't necessarily need to see it again, but if it happens, hopefully Otis will turn these guys into having entertaining segments. The Viking Raiders, man, the Viking Raiders. I first watched them, I believe, in NXT Takeover Brooklyn, New York, when Aleister Black and Ricochet took on the Viking Raiders. And I actually watched that match. I was like, bro, you need to fucking watch this shit. It was incredible. Um, but I don't necessarily see Viking Raiders winning just because they haven't really been doing much on the main roster. They were in a feud with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, and then now they're in a feud with whoever else. Like, I don't necessarily want them to win. I would have to personally go with Braun Strowman and Ricochet because I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna like them as a tag team as much as I do, and it just makes sense. It's almost like a little brother, big brother kind of thing. Like it fucking works more than it probably should, if that makes sense.
So one thing I
I
do
get
want
it.
to say about your comment towards, Otis, maximum male models. I understand where you're coming from. I think that's why they're having Otis do the thing with Maxine Dupree because you really look at Otis's career, when was he the most over? It
When he was
was
with
during the
Mandy
Mandy
Rose.
Rose thing. And I think they have big plans for Chad Gable that a lot of people aren't really, speculating. And it's going, they're
US
really doing it
champion, man.
quietly because they want to put the spotlight on Otis, joining the maximum male models. But little do these fans know they got some big plans for Chad Gable being a singles competitor. And I can see him being the one to take the US title off of Theory.
Hmm.
Bro, that title was made for somebody like Chad Gable, bro.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
So Danny, you got Braun
I
Strowman,
I gotta
Ricochet.
go with Braun Strowman and Ricochet, bro. Like they're just really entertaining. They're fun to watch. Like they play off each other really well. Like Braun Strowman's the muscle, Ricochet's the athleticism. But obviously Braun Strowman, he has some athletic ability as well. I like them as a tag team, man. And it's probably stupid for me to say because I was one of the Braun Strowman haters. I didn't really feel like he contributed much to TV, but I actually like him and Ricochet together, bro, more than I probably should.
The team that I got winning, Viking Raiders. I'm with you, Ben.
Let's go.
Danny's got Ricochet and Braun Strowman. So moving on now to the next match we have. This one could potentially be main event of night one. Maybe we really don't know yet. It is for the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, defending it against Rhea Ripley.
Okay, so I'm gonna go off before this toxic wrestling fan just destroys and bodies one of the competitors.
Wait, real
Um,
quick, Ben, can I just say this to Danny?
yes.
We've already heard it on the We Are Wrestling podcast on the latest episode, so please don't go on for like 20 minutes about it. All
I
right,
won't.
Ben,
All right,
you
bet.
can go.
All right, so obviously we know that not everybody's a Charlotte Flair fan. We get it. But for the stakes that we're at, I think we're okay. I think for, where we're at, in this build up and everything and the fact that, Rhea is a part of Judgment Day, I think that it's going to be a pretty decent match. I wouldn't say it's going to be like a 5-star classic because we've seen this before. It's just a different persona. Um, So I don't expect anything monumental. I just expect, all right, we don't know who's going to win, and we'll just kick back and see what's going on. This is going to be another, I guess you could say, feel good match, and it's a big high stakes one. So it'll be exciting to see who wins. But at the end of the day, it's nothing we haven't seen before. So I'm not expecting anything spectacular. But both are, top names. So it's like there's so many avenues you can go. You can go with the Charlotte Flairs, forever reigning fucking SmackDown Women's title picture, or we can go with Rhea Ripley, who is a part of a stable right now, and that could put shine some light on Judgment Day and how they can go moving forward because now they have a belt under them. So I feel like more so it might lean that way. I do possibly see the title changing hands. So
How do you
on to
feel,
you.
Danny?
Everybody knows the disdain I have for Charlotte Flair. I'm not gonna go off for 20 minutes. You guys want to hear my full thoughts? Watch the episode 51 of the We Are Wrestling podcast right here on the channel. Um,
Thank you.
I like Rhea Ripley. I do. I like her work. I wasn't that crazy about her until she joined Judgment Day, and I do feel like out of everybody in Judgment Day, it just makes sense for her, to be in there just because she's such a dark, gothic kind of character. And Judgment Day, for the most part, is a very gothic kind of stable or whatever. So it makes sense for her. I love what she's been doing with Dominic, and the whole mommy and
Mommy.
poppy thing and stuff like that. I like it quite a bit. Here's what I have to say on the match being the main event. I feel like if this match gets put on the main event because people are not that invested in it, the build hasn't been fucking spectacular. They've only had 2 face-offs, and once they barely even said anything to each other, and it was pretty, lackluster. If you put this match on after the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, then people are gonna dislike this match even more.
Yep,
Because
that's
what's
what
the
I
number
said
one
last week.
story? What's the number one story in WWE right now? The Bloodline storyline. And it spawned all kinds of different storylines. It spawned the storyline between Sammy, Cody, and Kevin. Cody trying to get these two back together and rekindle their friendship. We have the Usos, having a feud between Sammy and Kevin, and Solo is now, he's feuding, having some kind of a feud or whatever with Cody Rhodes. It's spawning so many different things around it. The tag team match needs to be the main event. This match definitely should not be the main event. Is it going to be a good match? Of course. Yeah, it's going to be an okay match. Is it going to be anything that we haven't seen before? No, absolutely not. But I do think obviously Rhea Ripley is going to take the SmackDown title, and I do think that Judgment Day is going to go transition from Raw to SmackDown.
So, my thoughts on Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Champion. I did say this on episode 51 of the podcast. If Charlotte and Rhea are the main event, it's going to take a lot away from this match that I really think has the potential of being one of the best Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley matches in WWE. I really think that this is going to be a better match than a lot of people are expecting it to be. I have high hopes for this. Rhea Ripley always had the talent. There was
Mm-hmm.
always something missing that a lot of us didn't know what it was. And now we know what it was, and that was Judgment Day. She has more character to the Rhea Ripley, character. And honestly, I think that she is going to win the championship against Charlotte. This is going to be a classic, but the only way that this will not be a classic is if this match is after the tag match, because we need Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos to be the main event of night one. The storyline's been going on for over a year. There's no reason Charlotte and Rhea should be main eventing night one. What? Because Rhea won the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Charlotte, there's a lot of
I have high
positivity
hopes
going
for
on,
this
man.
match, and I used to not like Charlotte Flair. And I will admit, I didn't like her getting the championship right away, but honestly, since she's been back from that break that she really needed, I've actually been enjoying her work as a face. Seeing the crowd, getting behind her and, Charlotte being more of herself than being, pretty much like a heel Ric Flair, if that makes
She
any
is
sense.
really, I will give you that. She is definitely, going more outside her comfort zone, going more outside the box, isn't being too Flair, if you know what I mean. She's actually, I feel like she's going more unscripted now. She's
And that's what I
definitely
like
taking her
about
own
her.
route. And
It reminds me of like her like early NXT days, which is nice.
yeah, dude, like I'm digging it. Like I want her to get away from the queen angle. Like I want her to go for something that's a lot more nuanced. Like I want to see a different angle from Charlotte Flair.
I just hope Charlotte loses and gets taken off of TV for a while.
Oh my god.
Here's the thing, I just don't want her to turn heel. Keep her as a face for now because it's something new, something refreshing. And I'm definitely have grown a lot because I used to be just like Danny. Like before she, made her return, I felt that same way. But she's definitely grown on me a lot, and I'm actually happy that she has. But so who do we got winning this match?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea. All right, moving on now to the main event of night one that we hope is the main event, and I think it's going to be. It is for the tag team championships. The Usos versus Kevin and Sami Zayn.
All right. So this needs to be the main event. 100%, as you said, it needs to be because as we all know, the Bloodline storyline is without a doubt one of the most compelling storylines and long-term that we have in history.
Going on 3 years.
Dude, and it's all about to come to an end. We are getting the full circle story now for this year, and that's why this WrestleMania is going to be so explosive. The views are going to be high as fuck. Like it's going to be fucking killer, dude. Obviously, we know the ins and outs. If you guys have been keeping up with the Bloodline storyline, you already know what this is. We don't really need to elaborate on the details of it, but we got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens officially back, reunited. We have them challenging for the fucking titles finally. And again, the Usos have been dominant. There's no denying their talent. There's no denying their involvement in the whole story. I'm really hoping that we get a pretty big pop when those titles get obviously stripped off of them. And hopefully we get a little bit more juice and story into the Bloodline because they're all ready to fucking fall off the island. And I think that we might get a turn from Jay. I think Jay might finally show some respect and fucking super kick the shit out of Jimmy. I think we might finally see it happen. I think we might finally see Jay Uso redeem himself even though he's dropping his title. Because that's going to send the fucking Bloodline in turmoil. So I'm going to say this right now, and as you guys saw fucking with Cody and Solo, he's even falling. He's not ready. 100%. I saw the fucking promo, man, and it was great. It was fucking phenomenal. And this is all playing part, and this is the first part where we're going to see it really disintegrate. So I'm going to go and say, obviously, Sammy and Kevin, but I'm also really holding on to that ledge about Jay's involvement in turning on Jimmy. So, because he's always been fucked up about where he stands. So, and this might put a little bit of perspective into him. And that's my thoughts, guys.
What about you, Danny?
I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to win. I do feel like Jay at some point is going to turn on Jimmy just because, if you remember when after the Royal Rumble and, we went like 2-3 weeks without seeing Jay. He came back wearing a black hoodie. The last several months, I guess you can say, since Sammy turned on the Bloodline, he's been showing up in a black hoodie.
Kevin
Kevin
too.
Owens. Kevin Owens been showing up in a black hoodie.
What if this was all a part of the plan? What if Jay was really in on this and this was all for show? Fuck you, son of a bitch! You planted a seed in my head. Fuck. Sorry. Mania weekend is fucking awesome. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, it could be something. It could be something major. It could be nothing at all, and we're just speculating. But that's what we do here on the channel. I mean, bro, the seeds are
Fantasy
planted, man.
booking.
Fantasy booking, the seeds are planted. But I mean, it makes sense that Kevin, Sammy, and Jay were all wearing black hoodies around the same time, bro.
You really did pull one subtle detail out that could have changed the whole fucking thing of how we're really looking at this shit, dude. And notice that they've really been pulling out the whole black hoodie look. Like, it makes them stand out. Like, that's like, fuck.
So my thoughts on this tag match easily should be the main event of night one. I think that this has been a fantastic storyline, fantastic storytelling from start to finish. And the best thing about the Bloodline is there's so many multiple storylines in it that are so compelling. And it's like a whole nother show on top of Raw and SmackDown. And I think the reason why I've really been invested in both Raw and SmackDown is because of the Bloodline, especially Jay, especially Jimmy, especially Sammy, especially Kevin. And I got to say, this is going to be one of the best tag team matches in WWE history because of how much, they have built this for so long. And I think that we're going to get that moment where Sammy and Kevin are holding the championships with the pyro at the end of night one. And it's going to be such a beautiful moment, especially for the diehard fans that followed, Sammy as El Generico and Kevin Owens as, Kevin Steen in that
Yep.
ring, with pyros hugging each other, having that WrestleMania moment. It's going to be something that we're going to be looking back at for the next, 10 to 20 years. And I'm very excited to see that. But now, here's what I think is going to happen because, of course, you guys both think Jay is going to turn on Jimmy. I don't see Jay turning on Jimmy yet. If there's anybody that Jay is going to turn on, which I don't think this is going to happen at WrestleMania, I think it's going to happen somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Jay is going to turn on Roman first before anything happens with his brother, because obviously in the storylines, we've been seeing Jay and Jimmy, close, like blood over everything. But obviously Jay has been having issues with Roman. Hasn't really had issues with Jimmy because remind you, when Jay was gone for those 3 weeks, Jimmy was the only one contacting him. So I don't see them breaking up the Usos quite yet. I think maybe long term, like down the line, that's going to happen. But I think if there's anybody Jay is going to turn on, it will be Roman at night 2 or, the night after Mania or Backlash or whenever we see Roman again.
So here's what I have to say. I do think here's how I think it's gonna play out. I think the Usos lose, right? And obviously it's gonna be the main event of night one. I feel like
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. I almost said
What?
something crazy. Nothing.
I feel like, to redeem himself, I feel like Jay is gonna be forced to go out with Roman and help him during the Roman versus Cody match. And I think we get a stare down with Roman and Jay. Roman's pushing his buttons, and Jay finally just fucking snaps. And I feel like he super kicks Roman. I feel like he super kicks Roman, rolls out of the ring, and just walks away.
Bro,
See,
that could
that's
be
my
the end of the
problem.
match.
Here's my problem. Like, as much as I would love to see that, I feel like the ending is just going to be the Usos, being down, and Kevin and Sammy are going to have that moment at the end. I think Roman, it could happen at night 2 in the beginning of the show or something.
Yes, if it does not happen, if Jay does not turn on Roman, Roman retains the title, guaranteed, because they've already said if once Roman loses the titles, he's going on an extended break. That could be till summer. That could be till Survivor Series. He's gonna have lengthy time off, and so if Jay does not turn on Roman night 2, then Roman's retaining the titles.
All I know is I'm excited for this main event because there's so many things that can happen. And I really hope that Sammy and Kevin do win this match and get that moment because I
Yeah.
think that's going to be such a beautiful picture.
God, yeah, dude.
So we all definitely have new tag team champions, right?
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Moving on now to our next match for WrestleMania. We have a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Drew McIntyre versus Gunther versus Sheamus. We already know how
Okay.
you feel, Danny, about
You
Sheamus
already know,
winning.
man. I feel like Sheamus is gonna win, pin Drew McIntyre, and they'll be able to take the title off of Gunther without
First
having
off,
Gunther get pinned.
first off, first of all, I want to say a huge fucking dub for European fucking wrestlers because you have all European wrestlers in this match and they all get to showcase for the Intercontinental title at Mania for once. The Intercontinental title made it to a Mania match, just like the United States title did. We're finally showcasing these other titles and it's not just bullshit anymore. Like, the only thing that's missing is a women's titles match, unless I think we have a tag team title match. I don't know.
Nope. We
We
don't
don't.
because
That's the only
Lita
thing.
and Becky are the
That's
tag
right.
champions.
Yep. So, like, it's gonna be a killer match, man. And all of these guys in this ring can fucking work a mat to the ground, dude. And I'm so excited because all of them are pretty fucking big dudes, man. And all of them have a different style of wrestling, and I'm really excited to see that explosive triple threat. It's kind of a disadvantage to Gunther as it is because, obviously Sheamus and Drew are super tight, always have been, and they've been showcased as the Banger Bros for so long, So it's going to be interesting to see that disadvantage and to see what kind of pull Gunther's going to have by himself because they're going to showcase a lot of his strengths by himself between these two fucking stacked individuals, man. So I'm really excited to see him being the highlight of the match, even if he does lose his title. I really don't want him to see him get pinned, like Dan said. But I also want to see his credibility go upwards.
So,
So,
before Danny,
yeah.
you give your thoughts on this match, here's what I gotta say. Whichever night this match is on, I feel sorry for every other wrestler that's wrestling on the same card as these three because they're about to have a 5-star match, I think. This is going to be one of the best Intercontinental Championship matches in WrestleMania history.
And a triple threat.
I said it.
Dude,
And I
I
think
back
that
you.
before, and I don't want to give my winner just yet until, after, but I think, this build has been pretty solid. I knew from the get-go, I've been saying this for fucking months now, that we were going to, at first, I said Drew McIntyre versus Gunther, but then, towards like Survivor Series time, I knew that they were going to go in a triple threat route with, Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew McIntyre. And I'm glad that we're actually going to be getting this because I think it's criminal if Sheamus is not at a WrestleMania this year. I think it's criminal if Drew McIntyre is not performing on the biggest stage. And I think that, Gunther has made this championship so prestigious. And I really hope that if, they have Drew or, Sheamus win, Gunther does not lose any credibility at all because I want him eventually towards Survivor Series to win the WWE Championship.
Excuse me.
So now, Danny, how do you feel about this match?
Okay.
Because we know how high you are on Sheamus.
I am high on Sheamus. The Intercontinental Championship is the only title that he's never won. And the match between him and Gunther at Clash of the Castle, I do feel like even over Roman and Drew McIntyre, that was match of the night. Like there was no other match on that card I feel like that really had the effectiveness that that match had. It was brutal. I mean, Sheamus's chest was bleeding at one point from all the chops and stuff. Um, you know, Gunther, obviously, he's like a wrecking ball. There's nobody I feel like that can beat him. So you got to have some kind of a stipulation like a triple threat match in order to get the title off of him in some way without having him lose credibility. And
Yeah.
that's the big part here is even if you want to get the IC title away from Gunther so we can go on to bigger and better things, you can't have him lose credibility because that'll just destroy everything that he's worked for. Drew McIntyre, I mean, I could very well see, maybe him feuding with Sheamus again down the line, and maybe Sheamus putting Drew McIntyre over for the IC title. Like, there's a lot of scenarios that I could see happening throughout this match.
Okay.
But I do feel like now we don't know how much longer Sheamus has. He's been WWE champion, he's been world champion, he's been US champion, he's been multiple time tag team champion. The only title he's never won is the Intercontinental Championship. And I mean, if it doesn't happen now, who's to say it's ever gonna happen?
I gotta say, man, you've obviously been sitting on this for a while, and you really did bring substance to that whole thing. Just because, like, for example, I swayed Donnie with, the whole fucking Viking Raiders thing. You honestly may have just swayed me on, changing who I originally wanted to win to doing it, because it could still happen down the line, but he could still capture the last championship he hasn't won in the company, aiming towards his retirement eventually, because he is also an actor. So it's like, it makes sense, and you really did bring a lot of valid points into it. Like, you could bring Drew back over to make the fucking IC title still super prestigious, because somebody built like Drew could really carry that fucking title. So
Yeah.
honestly, yeah, man, I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, man. Bravo, you really brought in the facts on this one.
And that's the thing, like, at first, I was just like you, Ben, thinking Danny with, one of his, 1 million delusional wrestling takes.
No,
But it has grown on me a little bit, and now I'm starting to see more of a clearer picture seeing Sheamus as champion.
Huh.
I really do. But before I dive
Wow.
into my reasons, I want to hear you guys on who you think is going to win this match.
Sheamus. Originally I
it's
wanted Drew, but Sheamus.
I think it's gonna be Sheamus, because obviously, they're gonna sort of aim Gunther towards the world title at some point, and you need time to build up to that. And I just don't. I feel like he is so destructive that the IC title is beneath him at this point. So
Can I ask you
Yeah.
a question, Danny?
what's up?
Here's what I want to ask you. So now we're talking about Sheamus winning the Intercontinental Championship from Gunther and having Gunther focus on, the world title main event picture. So now what do you do with Gunther now that he's not going to be Intercontinental Champion? Because wouldn't he want a rematch for the title that he never got pinned?
Who's to say he doesn't get a rematch at some point? The possibilities.
Like, who does he feud with after this?
Yeah.
I could
That's
see
the
him.
only thing I want to know.
I mean,
I could see it being Drew.
maybe we get Brock Lesnar and Gunther for like SummerSlam or Survivor Series.
Okay.
True.
That's fair. That's a great answer. That does
Fucking
make
finally,
more
because
sense.
they were aiming it already. The writing was on the wall at Royal Rumble. It's gonna happen eventually. We just don't know
So I
when.
mean,
All right. All
and
right.
a
Yep.
match like that
Okay.
again,
You got me now.
a
You
match
got
like
me.
that again does not need the Intercontinental Championship.
Absolutely
attached
right.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
And SummerSlam, perfect spot to have Brock and Gunther.
Especially with
Absolutely
them being
agree.
at Ford Field, a venue or a city that they haven't really had a WWE pay per view in since '93. They're gonna want to go above and beyond. Plus, they have all these. They have like a stretch of like 3 premium live events that are gonna be overseas.
Do you
They're
know
gonna
why I
want to
like
be
that, Danny?
what?
Here's why I like that. Because Gunther goes into SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar, who, has a first class Hall of Fame ballot. And if Lesnar puts him over at SummerSlam, that just leads everything that I wanted to happen. Because
It's about status.
if Brock puts him over, Gunther then can focus on Cody for the WWE Championship at the Survivor Series, and he can win the championship, and I could freaking look back 10 months from Survivor Series and say, I called it.
You might be onto something, guys.
So here's now who I want to win this match. As much as I love Gunther and I want him to win, I still want Gunther to win this match, but here's the thing. The only way that I would be okay with Sheamus winning this match, being Intercontinental Champion, is if the first Raw or the first SmackDown after WrestleMania, Butch turns into Pete Dunne. He turns on Sheamus because, of course, they've had the chemistry there. He's been Butch with Sheamus, and he finally turns on him, and we get the old Pete Dunne back, and we get a rivalry that can lead to, maybe Money in the Bank, and that's where, Pete Dunne in the UK beats Sheamus for the championship. That's the only way I'd be okay with Sheamus winning the title, is if
The stars
Butch
align, man.
Pete Dunne is the next Intercontinental Champion.
All right, man. All right, you got me sold. You got me sold. And the return of the Bruiserweight. Yeah, okay. Yep. All right. Yep. All right.
All right.
I mean,
Moving on now to our next match on the card. We have another tag team showdown match. This time with the women. We have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus mystery opponents versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
I can't say much because obviously the mystery opponents haven't been really added to the mix yet. I don't really see appeal in the other two teams other than shit. Oh, put your fucking crack away, bro. God damn. I don't see any other appealing teams other than Shayna and Ronda because they're really the only money names I could really fucking take and deliver a legitimate hit. But yeah, it really all comes down to who the mystery team is.
And that's the thing. I feel like the mystery team is going to be Carmella and Chelsea Green because they've been building that tag team because of their, hate for Adam Pearce. And I kind of like the chemistry that they have with these two so far. They're slowly building it, and I think they're going to be the last ones, that get revealed. But who knows? By the time this is uploaded, maybe the fourth team will. Because, by the way, we're recording this on Monday before Monday Night Raw, so we don't know who the fourth, tag team could be in this match. But I do think it's going to be Carmella and Chelsea Green.
I honestly don't think they're going to be announced until the night of WrestleMania. Remember, there was one. Remember, sort of the same thing that happened with the Hardys. Back in WrestleMania 33. They came out as a mystery. There's a mystery opponent in the tag team ladder match. Turned out to be the Hardys. I feel like we're going to have another scenario like that. I mean, I think it could very well be like a tag team from NXT. It doesn't necessarily have to be Carmella and Chelsea Green. Because let's face it, even though Chelsea Green, I feel like her and Carmella are good as a tag team, they're not going to win this match. So why would they hype it up and have them be mystery opponents if they're just going to end up losing anyway? You gotta have it. You gotta have a tag team that I feel like is worthy enough to possibly beat, Natalya Shotzi, Ronda Shotzi, Shayna. So that's my only thing.
Here's why I want them to be the mystery tag team, because I'm going to pull up the card again. Ronda and Shayna, I understand why they're a tag team. The other ones, I don't.
Yeah. Those are filler.
And with Carmella and Chelsea Green, they've actually been building it with segments on Raw. And that's what I've been wanting with, WWE tag teams. We need more legitimate tag teams. And what they've done here with, Chelsea and Carmella, they've done little things, but it makes sense why they're together.
Yep. I guess I still say they missed the opportunity to have Shayna and Ronda in a fight pit match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That would have stole the fucking show. I'm not really that I don't really have much to say about this match because I'm not really that enthusiastic about it. So, I agree with you on that one. Ronda Rousey and Shayna are the only team that didn't have to qualify, so I feel like automatically we already know who's gonna win at the end of the day.
It's basically a filler match. That's like the one downside. This one's a filler.
Yeah, I think this is a filler because they wanted to get all these people on WrestleMania.
So I'm going to go with Shayna and Ronda for sure.
Yep. What happened to Triple H wanting a smaller card and wanting everybody,
That's what I was thinking this whole time.
Yeah, because we've been talking for an hour and a half already, and you guys only have an hour and a half until showtime. So,
yeah. So honestly, for this one, I'm going to have to go with probably Ronda and Shayna. Yeah. It makes the most sense. Moving on now to our next match. This one I'm very excited about. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio.
Let's go.
Finally, we got the match.
Bitch slap. Yeah, that bitch slap on fucking SmackDown was a smack heard around the fucking world, bro. Oh, and that pop was ridiculous.
Dude, I lost it in my reaction, which I haven't had no time to upload it at all.
I still say,
pocket.
As much as I love Dom and I love Rey and I love this match, I love the build up for it. I will say,
Here comes
I
the Danny
feel
Downer shit.
I'm not Danny Downer. I'm still very
Danny
enthusiastic about this
Downer.
match. I'm still very much a fan of this match. And I love the build for it. But I do feel like they missed an opportunity to have have Dom and Judgment Day beat down Rey Mysterio at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and then that could solidify the match for night 2.
That's what I
And not
wanted to.
have Rey Mysterio do the punch heard around the world until they're standing face to face at WrestleMania.
But it did
That's how I
and
would have worked it.
but here's the thing though, it did make sense
Oh yeah.
why he punched Dominic in that situation because he was
Yep.
disrespecting his mother,
Yeah.
Ray's wife. But I do wish it was the Hall of Fame. I do got to give you that one. But Ben, what's your thoughts on this whole feud and
Oh
match?
man, obviously I've wanted this for a long time, like everybody else. Man, this is Rey Mysterio's sunset. This is where, and like remember, this is where Dominic was preaching about. Oh, you've been gone this entire time. Oh, they've always supported you. Now, after Rey Mysterio gratefully humbles his ass at Mania, he can finally ride off into the sunset. And be like, you know what? Now that I taught you a lesson, I'll stay home and I'll support you. You can
You
take the
know,
reins. Like you could
that's the
take it,
thing. I gotta say, my thoughts on this whole, storyline with Dominic and Ray ever since, they did the turn at, I believe, Clash at the Castle, right?
Yeah.
That's when Dominic turned on Ray.
Yeah.
I'm, very big fan of the storyline from start to finish. This has been fantastic. You had Ray move from Raw to SmackDown to avoid his son now because Mommy is on SmackDown going for the title. Dominic's on there, pissing Ray off again. And I think that this is the perfect opportunity to have this match on the biggest stage of them all. They really built this feud
For a
and
long ass
it
time
makes sense
too.
why, and that's the thing in my reaction videos. I always kept saying it. It makes sense why Dominic feels the way he feels, but he's being a spoiled little brat.
He's being a little
Ray,
bitch
on
ass
the other
motherfucker.
hand, it also, makes sense why he didn't want to put his hands on his son because he loves you. He loves him at the end of the day. But the whole storyline has been fantastic and probably the most personal storyline. This match, I think, out of all of them, is definitely going to be probably Dominic's best match in his career when, his dad puts him over.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like outside of the Bloodline storyline, this is like one of the most cohesive storylines, I feel like.
Finally, a
in the
Mysterio
WWE.
story I can get behind.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Dominic's heel run has been fantastic. I love
absolutely.
every second of
This
it.
is building him,
He's
and he's
really
getting pumped.
solidified his career now as being, Dominic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
Here
this
we go
goes
with the
back.
Charlotte Flair shit again.
It goes back to that, man. Like Dominic, he was living in his dad's footsteps or whatever, and
I'm tired of hearing Charlotte. We need to find anybody, any editors out there watching this. Please go through all the We Are Wrestling clips, Danny streams, and we need to make a 24-hour compilation of Danny just freaking shit talking Charlotte Flair. I will pay somebody to fucking do that for me, please.
He
All right, you
said,
can continue.
please.
You can continue.
but I feel like Dominic is really coming to his own. He's not. He took himself out of just being Rey Mysterio's son to actually now being Dominic Mysterio.
Dude, and it's fucking killer. His heel work is literally what his career is going to be based off. Because he's a fucking just natural born heel. Like, just natural. It comes off on the mic so much smoother. You can clearly see him getting more comfortable. He's interacting with the crowd more. He's like, fuck you guys, basically. Like, I love it. This really did mold him. This heel turn is what we needed to rejuvenate and put spice into his career. And on top of it, he's starting to get kind of pumped in the gym. Like, dude's starting to finally build some shit. So I'm really stoked to see his career really take off now because of Judgment Day. I really owe it to that stable for him. Yeah, this match is going to be nuts.
And that's the thing, man. You could tell Dominic is such a great natural heel. He definitely was more of an Eddie fan than his dad. He's got the tools, man. Like you could see, like I'm not saying Dominic is Eddie Guerrero,
but his
like,
mannerisms are undeniable.
There is some things that you're seeing that Dominic does that Eddie used to do. Like there's little things there that like you can see a little bit of the comparisons, and I love what we're seeing with Dominic.
Exactly.
Who do we got winning this match?
I got
Rey
Dominic,
Mysterio.
man. I think Ray's gonna put Dom over.
I think you can still do that. Like I said, I was explaining it to Don when you walked away for a second. You know, I really think that Ray is going to win because this might be his retirement match. Because at this point, once he humbly teaches his son a fucking lesson and was talking about the whole, oh, you know what, they support you, you've been gone my entire life. Now this is the perfect opportunity to not only beat his son and teach him a life lesson going forward, but this is his ride into the sunset because he's done it all now. There's no need for him to be around anymore, and he can finally retire and support his son at home.
You know what I would love? I wish, and they still have time to do this.
What's that?
Honestly, I would add a stipulation to this match. If Ray loses, he retires, and Dominic beats him.
Ooh, yeah, that's the only way I would have Dominic win.
You
but
know
as of
how
right
much
now,
more
I'm locking in
heat
Ray.
Dominic would freaking generate from
Oh,
that?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Ray
But
can
dude,
still go though.
I
Like, he's
retired
not.
your hero.
well, he said he wanted to retire. So he said he wanted to be done pretty soon.
And he's
So,
going into the Hall of Fame. I think
Yeah,
that
This is
this
it.
will be Ray's last match.
I think
I
so
don't
too.
think so.
And Dominic
think
is
so.
going to beat him.
I do.
So I got to go with Dominic on this one.
I'm gonna go with Ray for now. I'm gonna
I
be
got-
the differential.
I gotta go with Dom, but I definitely Rey Mysterio is far from being done.
The dude's past 50 now, man.
He can still go like he's fucking
But
like
does
30
he-
though.
But does he want to? That's the thing. You have to ask yourself, does he want to?
My whole
Because
thing
where else is
if
he
you-
going to go after this, man?
My whole
Where?
thing is if, my
Who's
whole
he going to
thing
want to
is-
wrestle for his last match?
My whole thing is
Seriously.
if he was gonna retire, I'm pretty sure he would have mentioned it. He's done a lot of interviews leading up to WrestleMania, and not once.
Listen,
has he
we
talked
all
about
know-
Wait, no, hold
we
on.
all know for
No,
a
in an
fact.
interview. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Ben.
Yeah.
In an interview recently, he did talk about being okay with retiring.
Mm-hmm.
being okay. He didn't be like, yeah, it's gonna be my last match.
Well, here's the thing,
Obviously, he's
though.
not going to say that.
Yeah, obviously not, man. But at the same time,
He's
we
teasing
all
it.
know his ideal retirement match. We know and we can all collectively agree it would have been Eddie Guerrero. 100%. It would have been Eddie.
Mhm.
That would have been his retirement match. Unfortunately, he can't do it, but we got the next best thing now.
I feel like Ray's last match should be with Chavo Guerrero.
I don't even know if Chavo's wrestling.
Ooh,
Yeah, he's still wrestling.
Chavo! Dun,
Oh, is
dun,
he?
dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun,
That's the thing.
dun,
Like,
dun,
I
dun.
feel like if Ray's going to have his last match, it's going to be against his son Dominic, and he's going to put him over.
If
Yeah,
Dominic
boy.
loses and Ray beats him, Dominic's not gonna be in Judgment Day anymore because he's not gonna be heel. He's gonna get the sins beat into him, and he's gonna end up turning babyface, and that's what I don't want to happen.
I don't think so, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, moving on now to our next match. It is for the Raw Women's World Championship. Bianca Belair versus Asuka.
All right, so right off the bat, we obviously know what kind of competitor Bianca Belair is. There's no denying it. She's literally obviously a face for an entire generation of people. She's a fucking athletic god. She's built like a fucking tank. She's been a dominant reigning and defending champion. She's one of the best baby faces we have. But I think her time is up now, and I think it's time for a new and revamped Asuka to be the new threat going forward for the women's division in terms of the Raw Women's Champion, because I think she really has a new angle on things and can make it more fun and compelling, and this would be a way to set her up to be competing with new faces that she hasn't yet, and I think there's a lot that can be done there, so I'm going to go with Asuka.
Here's my opinion on this match.
Oh,
like
and I
I'm
want
gonna
fucking
agree with
Bianca
Danny.
to turn heel.
I was 100% down for Asuka winning.
There we
100%.
go.
When she came back at the Rumble, bro, I was like, yes, this is what the fuck we needed. This is exactly what Asuka needed to revamp her career. Her entire build for this match has been dancing around in blue mist being leaked out of her mouth. She hasn't said anything. She hasn't really done much. I don't even think she hasn't even thrown a punch to Bianca yet. Like, the build for this match has been mediocre. And
Dog shit.
I am not down for Asuka to win the title like with such a mediocre build to this match, bro. So I gotta go with Bianca as much as I wanted Asuka. Maybe they try again at SummerSlam or Survivor Series, but now it's just not the time, bro. The build has been atrocious.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, agree with Danny here. Like with the Rumble, I was very excited about Asuka coming back, the new look, everything like about her. I thought that she was gonna have that NXT run that she had. Now that Triple H, is booking stuff on the main
She
roster,
still might,
but
man.
there's still that possibility, absolutely, Ben. But when it's all said and done, we're going into WrestleMania, the biggest stage of them all, and all you're doing for a build for they consider it a world champion, the Raw Women's World Champion, is fucking dancing and spitting out blue mist. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Bianca Belair and Asuka, I know they're going to have a fantastic match. They're going to tear the house down. But you know what's taken away? You know what's going to be taken away from that? The dog shit build that they've had for this entire feud. They should have definitely done something. And I am not convinced on this Raw or SmackDown coming up that they're going to do anything to sell me this match. Because when I
Who
look
knows?
at a
We'll have
WrestleMania
to see.
match, I'm looking at it like I have $50. Am I going to spend that $50 on that match? I'm sorry, when it comes to Bianca and Asuka, they had a better build. Absolutely, take my money. But this build has been literal shit. And it sucks because Asuka deserves so much more. Bianca deserves so much more. And that's why I kind of wish Rhea Ripley went against Bianca Belair at WrestleMania instead of Charlotte, because Bianca deserves a proper storyline going into this WrestleMania. She's one of the top women in this division. And Asuka just came back, and all that momentum that you built at the Rumble, we all were super excited. We marked the fuck out.
Mhm.
And now all of it's gone, and we're just like, all she's been doing is just dancing and spitting blue mist. Hasn't done anything. So I really do hope Bianca retains the championship, and Asuka, they really figure out something. Honestly, they need to go get her tag team partner from the Kabuki Warriors. She's a free agent now, so they should sign her and pair the two back up and let them, run the tag team division. Kyrie Sane.
Definitely in agreement. It sucks, man. They had all that momentum and it just went out the window.
Yeah, so who do we got in this match?
I gotta go with Bianca.
I'm going with Asuka.
I'm going to go with Bianca. But I won't be surprised if Asuka actually does win and they just want to do
I
that
won't
fresh
either.
start.
I won't either. It's just I wish I had more of a build. I wish it a build to a match, especially a Mania. It's supposed to like hype you up and be like, I want to see that fucking match like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
I could
here's a match that I know we're all very excited about that we want to see.
Let's
The last
go.
match before the main event of WrestleMania, Hell in a Cell,
Yep.
Edge versus
Yep.
Finn Balor.
So, yep.
Gangrel's coming back.
That's what I'm saying. I'm excited for Gangrel's involvement in not only his entrance but his angle with Damian Priest he's potentially having. It's gonna be nice to bring back
It's
with
only
Edge's
rumored.
own.
It's not 100% set in stone yet.
Fuck
but
you, it's happening. It's fucking happening. All leaks are true now. Believe everything you see on the internet. God is a lie.
Believe Dave Meltzer, the man that gives you gold stars for your matches.
Absolutely. Don't forget about Vinny Russo as well, bro.
Don't forget about
yeah.
Jim Cornette either.
Absolutely, man. All the fucking marks. But no, seriously, though, in all seriousness, I'm very excited for this match because this is going to be the return of the Demon Finn Balor as well. I'm fucking stoked. And Hell in a Cell to unleash just fucking monsters in the ring. Dude, I'm excited for it. Like, gimme, gimme, gimme. I'm still going with Edge, though. I'm still going to go with Edge. I'm gonna. 100%. Unless they do something interesting with the Demon. But as of right now, I'm going Edge.
How do you feel, Danny, about this?
a lot of people were very skeptical about the build for this match. A lot of people thought it went on too long and Edge got taken off of TV or whatever. And it just really wasn't going anywhere. And then at Elimination Chamber, they rejuvenized it, had the tag team match with Rhea and Finn and Beth and Edge. And I feel like it rejuvenized the feud a little bit, and it got announced a couple weeks ago that we're getting a Hell in a Cell match, man. I'm looking forward to this. I feel like, the last several years it hasn't happened, but I do feel like for a certain time, it was almost like a tradition to have a Hell in a Cell match at Mania. And I
Mhm.
can't think of two better dudes to have a Hell in a Cell match and to settle their score than Edge and Finn Balor. The match is gonna be fucking brutal. I can't wait to. I mean, we just met Gangrel, watched the vlog on We Are Wrestling at Blitzkrieg Pro. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. His involvement in the match is going to be. Um, I mean, this match is gonna go be a certified banger at the end of the day. Like,
Absolutely, it's going to be a 5-star.
And that's the thing, man. When it comes to Edge versus Baylor, this also has the potential of, being, a show stealer. I think that we're going to definitely get some defining moments that we're going to be looking back at during this match. I think, Demon Baylor, he usually comes out with the black and the red.
I think
I
it's gonna be
think this
purple.
time he's going to come out with the black and the purple because of the Judgment Day. And I think, Edge is going to be coming out with the red because of the Brood. I
Mhm.
think, we're going to definitely get a cool entrance with him and Gangrel. I think them bringing Gangrel in here would be a great way to do it because Damian Priest isn't really doing anything at this Mania because, of course, Rhea's going, for the title. Dominic's going against his father. And that leaves, Priest by himself. He could be, with Baylor and having Gangrel with Edge. That kind of, makes the
It
battlefield
equalizes
equal.
it equalizes the playing field.
And that's the thing, man. Like this feud, I have been a big fan of this feud,
Oh,
from the get
absolutely.
go. I did not like when
Oh
they
shit, excuse
turned
me.
on Edge with the Judgment Day,
But
but
they made it
through
work.
time, they made it work. And Triple H, definitely dragged it on a little bit, but it was for a good reason
Mhm.
because now we're having a solid end to this feud. And what better way to end this feud with two demons than the Hell in a Cell?
Mhm.
That's exactly how a Hell in a Cell match should be built. Edge versus Baylor, the storyline that they have done, from the time that Baylor turned heel and turned on Edge and became the leader of Judgment Day to this exact moment, they have built everything to this moment. And honestly, this match, I'm very excited about.
Yeah, man.
I'm
Same.
very excited about it too, man. It's gonna be a certified banger.
So, who do we got winning this match?
Edge.
I gotta go with Edge, man. He needs a big match, and we don't know if this is gonna be
His
Edge's
last
final
Mania.
WrestleMania. So, I feel like he's gotta go out on top.
Yep.
Damn. This is hard
He said,
because
"Fuck, I was gonna go with Balor, but now you guys made a point."
dude, I love Edge and I love Baylor. Like, honestly, this can go both ways. I'd be okay with either one winning this match.
Same here.
But if I had to pick one, damn, I love Edge, but Dominic's going to beat Ray. Rhea's going to win the title. Honestly, I want Baylor to beat Edge so that Judgment Day has even more momentum and could be, replacing the bloodline because I think the bloodline will definitely be coming to an end
It
very, very
could
soon.
play. Yeah, I was gonna say it could play into like them being
And the
successful and
Judgment
wanting
Day
to pick
could
up all the
be,
titles.
pretty much the number one faction in
Because
WWE.
what way to do that and solidify that by all the members of Judgment Day picking up dubs at Mania. So yeah, no,
That's
you
true.
do drive a hard point, but at the
So I
same
got to
time, I'm
go with
still
Finn
going with
Balor.
yeah.
on
So I'm
this
gonna go
one.
with Edge though. I'm still
I
staying
gotta
on
go
it,
with
man.
it. I gotta go with Edge, man.
That's
Hey, I
my boy.
respect it, man. Hey,
That's my boy.
at least it ain't like a delusional,
Yeah,
difference
no,
here.
it could go either way.
All right, now
Let's
I
go,
think it's
boys.
time. But before we get into our main event that we're going to be really diving into, want to let the We Are Wrestling Maniacs know once again, Saturday, Sunday night, We Are Wrestling. We're going to be doing a 2-night watch along live to WrestleMania 39, all in person. You thought the Royal Rumble one was massive. Wait until this WrestleMania stream because it's going to
Wait till you
be
see this
bigger
shit.
than anything you guys expected. And we really hope that you watch WrestleMania with us because we're going to be interacting with the We Are Wrestling Maniacs all night long for the next, 48 hours on Saturday and Sunday. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. And we got more, live streams and stuff coming out this week on the channel WrestleMania related. So
Hell yeah,
now,
boy
with
sauce.
that being said, let's get into the main event of night 2. We already know this is, the main event. It is for the WWE Universal World Heavyweight Champions, Roman Reigns, defending the championship against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Oh, yeah. I'm fucking excited.
All right, boys. This is the culmination of 3 years, basically, of Roman Reigns' dominance finally coming to a fortunate and beautiful written end. And I'm honestly really excited for it because we obviously know that he's going to be going off for some time after this. We know that it's time for a new face, literally, for the company, especially in his absence because it's going to be prolonged. We need somebody else to carry the boat, and who better than the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, that came not too long ago right back to WWE from AEW. And he has had an amazing run in the short time he's been back. I mean, he's been back technically over a year. A year come this Saturday. But injury put him aside. But even before he went out on injury, he gave us a 5-star fucking Hell in a Cell classic himself and a 3 fucking match win streak against Seth fucking Rollins. So honestly, who fucking better? And it's his time, and he's finally going to finish his story and capture the one thing his father and his family was always denied, and it was the WWE Championship, and he's finally going to be able to do it, and I'm beyond excited for it, y'all. This is going to be the biggest historic match because not only does this loss just mean he's not, the island of relevancy anymore, we get to see like the culmination of the bloodline breaking up officially, and that is a huge, I don't know what's huger, the fucking titles getting dropped or the bloodline fucking erupting. I don't know what's bigger, but either or, it's a huge match for so many reasons. But this is going to show that even if Roman has family behind him, Cody's right. There is more than one royal family in wrestling, and he did it on his own with little to no support. He has the support of fucking Goldust, but his dad from above, but there's not really a lot like fucking Roman. So for him to do this, it's going to be huge, and I think we're in for a massive historic angle, and it's going to be beyond 5 stars. I'm going to give this a 10-star classic because holy fucking shit, it's a culmination of so much history, and we're finally writing a beautiful end to it.
Finally, a solid WrestleMania main event, Danny.
I'm so fucking excited for it.
Yeah, Roman and Cody. I got to admit, okay, I wish the build was better. Again, it goes back to
It was very short.
I don't think it was smart to have Cody come out at number 30 at the Rumble.
Yeah.
He should have came out at number 15 or 16 or whatever, and really had that time to struggle and to show that he really wants it, and that
Instead of thrown to him.
this is his destiny. You know what I mean? And we haven't had that many. We've only had 2 face-to-face confrontations between Roman and Cody, and it goes back to the lack of build. Is it going to take anything away from the match? No, it's not. This match is going to be, again, another certified banger. There's a lot of bangers on this fucking show if you guys haven't noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I think a member of the bloodline turns on Roman, and that's why Roman loses. If that's not the case, I don't necessarily know for sure if I see Cody winning or not. With everybody that Roman has beat, I mean, I don't really, and I honestly think anybody can really blame me for my thinking going into this match.
Here's why I don't blame you for your thinking, Danny, because there have been reports, and I don't know if these reports, are still relevant or true. We'll obviously find out after WrestleMania. They are, wanting to make Backlash huge. And there are, reports that potentially they could be doing a 6-man tag match with the Usos and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Sami and Kevin. So you're not far off, what you're saying. It does, even WWE, the reports have been out. They haven't even made their minds up yet on who's winning this match between Cody and Roman. Because you have to realize, Roman Reigns is at 900 days. Almost 1,000 days as champion, and they have to make a tough decision here. Do we give the championship to the American Nightmare? Is it his time right now to finish the chapter? Or do we give, Roman Reigns, 1,000 days as champion? Because nobody's ever going to get to this level probably for another 20 to 25 years.
Honestly, nah, cut it short, because if you don't, fans are going to fucking hate everything for it. So no, cut it short. Don't fuck the 1,000 days. This is already God mode. So no, no.
You got to think also though, like besides the bloodline, like what if it wasn't for the bloodline, WWE would be drowning in water because they
That,
don't really
and because
have any
Roman realistically isn't enough.
But now here's my thoughts on, the American Nightmare, Cody versus, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, main event of WrestleMania. Everybody knows my doubts. We've had, some pretty, debates on, the We Are Wrestling podcast about Sami Zayn should be in the spot and not Cody. And I can, say weeks later, I'm proud to say I was wrong about my statement. I can own up to that. I, really wanted Sami to have that moment, but now seeing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn having that moment in the middle of the ring night one, I'd rather have that than Sami having that moment by himself holding both championships on night two. Cody Rhodes, is more of a main event, household name. And I think for me, I realized that when I went to the big event New York, which, by the way, you can check that vlog out on the We Are Wrestling channel. I saw people meet Cody Rhodes, and they cried meeting Cody Rhodes. Tears. Oh my God, oh my God, I love fucking Cody Rhodes.
I love fucking Cody.
Like, Cody Rhodes is more over than I thought he was. And
yeah, dude.
I think that WWE, if they don't pull the trigger right now on Cody Rhodes winning that championship, it's never going to work.
It's never going to be as big as this moment is.
Professional wrestling, timing is everything. And if they do not give Cody Rhodes this win right now, I can't think of another perfect time than right now. Yeah. Roman Reigns is on God mode. 900 days as, the WWE champion. And if there's anybody that should end this feud, is, the fan favorite right now, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes himself. He is the hero here that needs to come in and save the day. It's time to pull the trigger. It's fucking time for Roman Reigns to go on a break until SummerSlam. It's time to give Cody Rhodes the championships and, see what he can do. Give him, the brass ring that he fucking deserves.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better, bud.
Yeah, so, such a hard decision, bro. I don't know, man.
It is a tough decision. And I know the title, the new championship, Cody's championship is leaked. I don't think that's going to be the championship moving forward. I think they're just doing that to swerve everybody.
I know. I read an article.
I'm going to say Cody.
I actually sent an article or a screenshot to you guys that according to WrestleVotes, Triple H has approved the new World Heavyweight title design.
I did see those reports. But I don't think it's the one that the pictures.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, I 100%. I'm gonna go with Cody, man.
I gotta go with Cody too. I'm just not. I'm not sure if it's his time yet. I'm so conflicted. I have no.
I'm gonna go with Cody. He'll carry the shit out of it. And mind you, dude is sculpted like fucking David, fucking carved by goddamn Leonardo da Vinci himself. My God, sorry, but Cody got huge.
And that's the thing too. There's a couple things I want to add before I give you guys my winner. First thing, I love what he's doing with, his weight belt that he's wearing. He has all the independent promotions that he worked for.
Blitzkrieg Pro.
Blitzkrieg Pro's on there. Northeast Wrestling's on there. Big Time Wrestling. So many great independent promotions are on there. And I really like how Cody's acknowledging that a part of his story. And the second thing that I do, want to say is, with, with this feud with Roman and Cody, I know I had my doubts because of, the timing, because of course, Sammy and Roman had the feud for quite a while. They built it at the Rumble, and that's why, some of us wanted Sammy versus Roman during the main event of Mania. But I got to say, within the time that they have built this match in such a little time, they have sold me on this match completely. It has that big feel to it. It has that WrestleMania feel.
Absolutely.
It does kind of feel like Rock and Austin, not as huge,
Exactly.
but it does have that big Mania main event match feel. A lot more so than the match with Brock Lesnar last year. That was a fucking travesty.
Exactly. The last few WrestleMania main events have been a little bit of a tragedy.
This one's worthwhile, guys.
And here's what I think. I still have not gone back on my statement. I do think, at the very least, at the end of the show, Roman cuts a heel promo. Obviously, he's going to go away for a while. He cuts a heel promo. The Rock comes out and sets up Mania next year.
Nope.
Well, you already said this, or you've already said this. I don't want to repeat this.
And I'm going to say this.
We're beating a dead horse.
Just like night one where Sammy and Kevin are celebrating, Cody's going to have that celebration. You're going to have all the pyrotechnics. You're going to have all the confetti coming down while Roman's just sitting there, just defeated. Then the night after WrestleMania, that's when, Roman can come out and talk, or he just waits until he comes back from his break, which I did hear if he is taking a break after Mania, he will probably be returning at SummerSlam from what I saw. Because on the WWE.com page, they showed like some of the wrestlers on who's going to be there, and Roman's picture is right next to Cody's.
And the thing about Roman's vacation, it seems like he takes a vacation every couple of months, because he only works like once or twice a month. So technically, he is on vacation a lot. So if they're really like pushing home that this is going to be an extended vacation, card is always subject to change, bro. He could be gone for months.
Hands down. But I think, I'm going to have to go with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, because timing is everything. And if they don't, pull the trigger now, I think that it's going to be too late. And I don't want that for Cody, because that man fucking worked his ass off to get to this fucking spot.
Let's do it.
And that's how I'm going to
WWE just needs to get better at fucking building their stories.
Mic drop.
All right, man. Let us know in the comment section below your guys' predictions for WrestleMania. We really want to hear them down below. If you guys enjoyed this predictions video, probably our longest one yet because of how stacked this WrestleMania is, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, because we still have a lot of content coming out this week, WrestleMania related, and some watch-alongs as well. Links down in the description below. You can go follow all of us on our social medias and other YouTube pages. In addition, you want shorter clips of the podcast, you don't want to sit through 2 hours of Danny complaining, you can go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can hear us, in shorter form. All the links down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.